In this video, we're going to talk about the long-awaited response from Kaizer Chiefs about the issue of Sipho Mbule. Do you guys want to sign Sipho Mbule or not? Will you go all out to sign Sipho Mbule or not? That's exactly what we're about to talk about in this video. Because Kaizer Chiefs Sporting Director, Mr. Junior Motoung, has responded, and perhaps you will be satisfied about what he's got to say, whether they want to sign Sipho Mbule or not, and what are the things that could stop them if they had to sign Sipho Mbule, and what are the things that they need to do if they had to sign Sipho Mbule, and why Sipho Mbule should be at nature. And that's exactly what we are about to talk about. So if you are interested to such, please stick around. To those that will stick around, and if you are not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Because to subscribe, it is free. To like the video, it is free. To comment in the comment section below, it is free. So I'm gonna read the statement coming from Junior Motoung, commenting on the issue about Sipho Mbule. He has this to say: we are in the business of football. So whether you are at FC Barcelona, Chelsea, Real Madrid, you really think Real Madrid or other teams, no matter what the figure is, they will always pay for it? That's a question. It's not the case. Take the point that it is part of what we have to do, but there is a bigger misconception. The team has bought players. The team has to pay salaries, and you have to plan for all those things to happen. The team has been in the transfer market. Okay? It takes two clubs to make a transfer happen. If, for example, our fans want Sipho Mbule, and we also want Sipho Mbule, we all want Sipho Mbule, but if Stan Matthews says Sipho Mbule is not going anywhere, the former South African under-23 international, that's not me saying the club is running away from number, or we don't want to pay. It's all about transaction. And again, we need to understand that a lot of the time our rivals, people don't want to do business with you. That's just the industry you are in. So I just want to clear. it. Huge misconception about us not wanting to buy Sipho Mbule. You have to assess it based on the situation. I don't think there is any other club that do not want to pay or sign without looking at the return on investment. You are going to put on money and say, listen, this is what we are going to achieve from that. Transfer are always a bit of a tricky one for people, because sometimes people have a misconception that the team doesn't spend money. But if you look at the money that is spent, it's a lot of money. Salaries are factored into that. I take the point, but you are always looking into as competitive as we can be in the transfer market. Okay. Junior Motoung has brought some quite number of things. One, he says Sipho Mbule is wanted by Kaizer Chiefs fans, so that's a good thing to hear. That's a good thing. It's a starting point that Kaizer Chiefs management do acknowledge that Kaizer Chiefs fans want Sipho Mbule at Naturena. That's the first thing. So it means that whatever noise that Kaizer Chiefs fans have been making about any situation at Kaizer Chiefs, it has reached Kaizer Chiefs management. That's one thing for sure. So if you are saying to me, you don't want this person in the management, you don't want that player, definitely sure. Now we know that Kaizer Chiefs management knows that Kaizer Chiefs fans do not want Akum Ake. So why are they not acting upon it? Because they know that Kaizer Chiefs fans do not believe that Stuart Baxter is the right coach, do not believe that Akum Ake is a Kaizer Chiefs player. Kaizer Chiefs fans want all these old players to meet the way to vacate the place for young players. That's what Kaizer Chiefs fans wants to see. Number two, they also acknowledge that they themselves want Sipho Mbule. Number three, they bring the sales dynamics to say, if Stan Matthews does not want to sell us the player, there's nothing we can do about it. But he also says that it's a difficult industry to be in, because certain people do not want to sell you players because they are your rivals. So the question is now, should we really believe that certain teams deliberately, so they don't want to sell players to Kaizer Chiefs. They want to sell it to other teams. I don't know. It's up for discussion. Tell me what you think about this whole conversation or this whole speech from Junior Kaizer Motoung. Are you satisfied that Kaizer Chiefs will do whatever it takes to get Sipho Mbule? But from what I'm hearing that Kaizer Chiefs are trying to balance these two things. And I've said it in one of the video. Sometimes, guys, we must come back and say you said it. You know what I'm saying? Just an affirmation, not necessarily affirmation, but yeah, man. In one of the video I said, if you look at Sundowns, for instance, I was talking about top 10 highest players in the PSL. Then I said, if you look at the league, for instance, Sundowns will go out to sign a player, but they will give them less salary. When you look at Kaizer Chiefs will take a player as a free transfer, but they will go on to pay that player a high salary. Look at there are so many players I can give you. I can make an example about. Now you're looking at Bernard Parker. You're looking at all the Kick and Dolly. You're looking, look at their salaries, and then you look at on the other hand, you look Sundowns. They are making a whole lot of noise in the transfer market. They go out and sign a player 25 million rand, but if you look at the salary of Tebogo Mokoena, it's far lesser than the salary that Kaizer Chiefs has to pay for Kick and Dolly, for instance, which is estimated to be 1.4 million rand a month. So you must align all those dynamics according to Kaizer Junior Motoung. They do not want to spend a lot of money buying the player and then have to spend a lot of money paying the player. And that way, then it is not balanced. Again, we must bring this dimension. FC Barcelona was in a similar kind of situation because they had spent a lot of money. There were players, about 7. There was a time where there were about 7 players that were on high salary demand, that including Lionel Messi, Suarez, you name the others. So that on itself, it bankrupted the club. That's according to the situation at Barcelona. Now they are starting afresh. They are restructuring everything. Now they don't have most of players who are on huge salary demand. So I guess from the conversation of Junior Kaizer Motoung, they are trying to avoid the situation of Barcelona. And another thing that they also mention here is that, do you think that Barcelona, just because they are Barcelona or Real Madrid or other teams, just because just because there's a player in the market that other teams want and other people feel that this player is it's a good player for that team? He asked a question of, do you think that they will just say, we're just gonna ignore the price tag, we just want the player? No, they said they don't work that way. So what he's trying to do in our sense is that it is a Mamelodi Sundowns thing to never worry about the price tag. They just want the player. But for Kaizer Chiefs, for instance, they worry about the price tag because there is a salary after the price tag that needs to be paid to the same player. I don't know about this, but I don't know about you guys, but for me, I kind of understand where are they coming from and what are they trying to say. Basically, they are trying to say, no, we need to balance the two so that we don't bankrupt the club. But I must also rebuke the club because, guys, you are stingy. You need to be told that you are stingy. You don't want to spend money. You can justify it by saying whatever you want to say, but in as much as what the statement that comes from Junior Kaizer Motoung is true, but you guys also you are also selfish. You need to be told that stop these selfish tendencies. You must also show that you also are willing to pay to a certain extent so that you balance things. So according to what we are seeing right now, we're seeing a Kaizer Chiefs that do not want to spend money in buying players. So we cannot therefore fully agree to say, no, Kaizer Chiefs can't spend a lot of money because they want to pay high salaries. No, you guys have got big sponsors. Toyota have just upgraded, moved from just being a sponsor behind the scene, with small letters to become a bold sponsor. It means a lot of money. It's a multi-million DV. What are you doing with that money? There's Holland, one of your biggest sponsors as well. They are popping a lot of money to you. What are you doing with that money? There is Vodacom, one of your biggest sponsors. They are popping a lot of money to you. What are you doing with that? Just to mention the few. You were also sponsored. Okay, that one we can't mention it. Let's leave that one aside. We just mentioned 3 big sponsors at Kaizer Chiefs. That pops millions and millions. So the question is, what are you doing with that money? We know that there are expenditures to be maintained. You maintain the building, you pay the salaries of the players, you do whatever it takes. We acknowledge all of that, but we are saying there are also sponsors that are popping a lot of money. Also, we guys have to be understanding that to run a club in the PSL, to run a certain club in the PSL, I for one, I think, what's this club? It's the smallest club in the league. I think it's cheaper or what. They came up to say to run this club, you actually need 5 million and the PSL gives you 1.5 million rand. So you kind of like saying, okay, if the PSL gives you 1.5 million, then that is that's a salary for one player. That's a salary for Cake and Dolly. So how are they going to pay? How are they going to pay Pennet Parker and all the stuff? So I'm saying that what Kaizer Chiefs are trying to do right now, they're trying to get rid of these players, especially those old players that are getting a huge salary, so that they can bring young players that does not demand a lot of salary, who are yet to get to those higher salaries. That's what they're trying to scale down the revenue that they have to pay to players. That's what also they are trying to do. You and I guys can get into the comment section below and begin the conversation right now, right here. What do you take about, or what's your thought about the speech coming from Junior Kaizer Motoung? I've given you my understanding, my opinion about the speech, but it is now up to you. Let's get into the comment section below and let the conversation begin.